We're going live.
All right. Oh,
Oh, they got another one forming out in the Pacific now too. Looks like it's headed right for Hawaii too. Oh, they got another one forming out in the Pacific now too. Yeah, maybe my car will get destroyed in the hurricane. I can claim the insurance on it. What's up, Russell Corey?
Any update on that?
No, it's still sitting there. Honestly, it's probably gonna sit there
Hey,
until they
Corey.
get tired of looking at it.
Corey and Russell.
Reported stolen.
That ain't gonna do anything.
Was in your yard. Well, you can't do that now, so.
Yeah.
No, it was on camera getting out of the car at the dollar store. So I said the cops around here are too good to be pulling any scams like that, and they'd catch on real quick. I'm telling you, I'd have 10 times more faith that they'd catch me than they wouldn't.
Well, besides that,
There aren't too many crimes
You-
around
you-
here that they don't figure
your
out.
family members contacted the store owner, so.
Well, like I said, there ain't too many crimes around here that they don't solve. Out of the sheriff's 20 or 30 plus years here, he's only has one unsolved murder case. Out of the, hundreds that he's had over the years.
Apparently there was some kind of earthquake over by Cleveland, Ohio. They said they felt one.
Corey was first, followed by Russell
Yeah.
Mark.
and Mark.
Hey, Mark there now? Hey, good afternoon there, Mark. Yeah. They said a 4.3 magnitude earthquake was felt in St. Thomas just after 10:30 last night. Huh.
Did you feel anything?
I didn't know anything happened. 4.3, that's pretty small, man.
Well, it's enough to get your butt to pucker up.
Mhm.
If you're like right in the middle of it.
Yeah. Well, it was across the lake. I go in Ohio where when was this? This morning at 8 o'clock. No, 7 o'clock this morning. According to Sarnia, police officers are on a scene of a shooting on Napier Street. The victim has been airlifted to London in serious condition. Well, that was what? An hour and a half ago. Huh.
Oh yeah, I heard about that last night, Mark.
Yeah.
I peek in on his show every once in a while, but I don't really like myself. I just don't enter competitions or giveaways on channels that I'm not a frequent, watcher to. But yeah, I did see Dustin. He's there all the time, so.
Hey,
cool that he
Captain
won it.
Joe.
I just feel weird going to people's channels just to try to win shit.
I
Like,
may
if
have
that-
to go, Paul, I might have to go,
We'll pick up that lady.
pick up my aunt, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe? But yeah, if you're a frequent person to a channel, by all means get in the giveaway. But I personally, like Edrone, I stop in there every once in a while, but so most of the time I don't even say anything. I just stop in for a few minutes. So I didn't feel comfortable entering his giveaway. As I don't like channel hopping for giveaways.
Yeah.
But I know Dustin's in there all the time, so that was a cool little win for him. Like if it's like Wedge or Tammy, somebody's channel that I'm at quite frequently, then yeah, I don't mind. But there's some people that will only come to your channel when you're doing a giveaway and that's it. Whatever happened with the dude that won the Air 2 over on Art's channel? Did he ever get back with him about it or what? Cause I know right after the dude won it, he like disappeared out of the chat.
Yeah.
Never did hear anything about that.
What are you, home alone today? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool way to
Book your cruise vacation today and enjoy.
instead of just a random drawing. Yeah, that's actually a good way to do it.
Yeah, like.
Did see he did a drawing for something, I think last night, didn't he? Like before he did that big giveaway. I thought he had done like a little drawing for something. Cause I popped into his channel and he had the little thing pulled up where it chooses a name, like Uncle Bill and all them guys use.
USA Captain Joe.
Oh, and that storm that's coming, I don't know if any of you guys been paying attention, but now they're gonna up it to a category 3 when it hits us instead of a 1 and a 2. So, that's gonna be fun. Oh, congrats, Dustin. We were just talking about your big win last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
Hmm.
Oh, he's been flying it too? Okay, yeah. I know there was some animosity between a couple people in the chat about a person winning. Over on Arch channel, that Air 2.
There we go, Paul. Me and I caught this just a little bit ago.
The tall ship, huh?
Yep.
Well, you did this morning, Paul?
Yeah, about an hour ago.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll have to see, Joe, how. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get up to a 4 or 5 at this point with the way as warm as those waters are. And it doesn't seem to be moving very quickly, which just means it's gonna gain strength pretty easily in the water.
Boy, the sleeping conditions on that thing must be kind of tough for all those people.
yeah, they got down in underneath though, Paul.
Pretty nice little ship.
It was hard to keep it. It was hard to keep it in frame because it was moving about 8 knots, and it's so small, you know.
Yeah, and you can see the propeller working too, really good. So
Yep.
Quite a few
Yep.
people on that boat too. Any of them notice your drone?
And I didn't notice they noticed it, but who knows?
I don't see any of them looking at it or anything.
Oh, there's a guy just pointed it out to that guy.
Uh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 back in
okay.
the cockpit. 9, 10, 11, 12. All people on board. They're looking at it, I think.
I don't even think he's got the drone yet. Or did he send it to him ahead of time, like before the show? Let's face it, Mark Dustin don't really know how to fly anyway.
That was interesting. Something different, Paul.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
There's another one downbound right now out at about 7 and 8.
Hmm.
The
Well, only thing that-
SV Pathfinder.
The only thing that sucks when you do those ships though is you don't know what the name of it is or anything, do you?
Oh, yeah,
Can
you,
you-
yeah,
can you
the name of
track
that ship, the name of that ship was the Smith, I can tell you.
Oh, did you get it off of the?
TS Playfair. Yeah, you get it off of.
As many Canadians alive?
Yeah, well, you can at least put that in the title.
Yep. The one coming down is the STV Pathfinder.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got that dentist appointment this morning, huh, Mike? That sucks. Yeah, those deep cleans, man. I've had one done and I'll tell you what. They're not fun afterwards. Your mouth would be quite painful. Better be drinking through a straw, Mike. Drink anything cold or hot. Uh, Sarah said, I swear doctors are the smartest dumb people I know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I always found when you having any kind of mouth stuff, McDonald's fries are easy to eat. Kind of can gum them up on your tongue and swallow them without really using your teeth. Go get a large fry over at preferably with no salt on it. What's up, Daryl? W.
Night Train says he's starved, but mouth is sore.
Yeah. Starbucks monthly support.
Well, the thing, night train, what you can get is, that's what they make shakes for.
Yeah, but anything cold or hot probably isn't gonna feel good on his teeth.
Well, cold usually doesn't hurt like surgery. It's hot that you can't take.
Well, he just got a deep cleaning and it wasn't surgery. It's just that your gums and stuff will be really sore for,
Yeah.
A day or so because they really get in there and dig around and everything. Like I said, I found whenever you have anything wrong with your mouth and it's hard to eat, it, I find McDonald's French fries are super easy to eat. Cause they're so small and skinny. You can it doesn't take much effort to eat those.
Well, instant mashed potatoes would do the same thing.
Yeah, but he's heading out to work
If
though,
you're
too.
not going out, get some mashed potatoes. Like KFC has mashed potatoes where you can just get the mashed potatoes and maybe a little gravy.
Yeah, his mouth is still sore from the last cleaning last week. None of them.
Well, sorry to hear that. There's nothing worse than than the dentist. And I'm saying that as my uncle was a dentist. And so when I was growing up, I was as kids, you middle of the night, you have a sore tooth or whatever. My mother'd call her brother and off we go to the dental office at 2 a.m, whatever, 1 a.m, 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's why she's getting frustrated with the doctors because they can't decide whether they're gonna open or close the office during that storm. Well, honestly, they need to wait another day before they make that decision and see what it does, because at any point that thing could curve even more.
The last door on your left. You got a double door and then a single door.
Oh, you're funny, Dustin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart ass. Because it's good ass money, Dustin. That's why.
Yeah.
Dentists make bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Sarah. At any point, the way that this weather's pushing these storms, I think it curve even more and hit us direct on. I'm more worried about this fucking shit ass tree that's next to the house. Sarah's mom hasn't had trimmed up.
Make sure you use a coaster there. They're over there by the Kleenex box. You can just take the one on top off and set it on. There you go.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, man.
Now you know what those girls in Vegas feel like. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh my god, that's funny.
So Paul, you got signs today?
Yeah, I got one to do so far right now, but they texted me the other day about putting it up today, but she's already texted me this morning. Oh, let me know when you get it up because I got to put a coming soon sign on it. I figured that was coming. Yeah.
You should have put it up yesterday and told her, oh, it's already up.
What's up,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah.
Hey, Dan's here.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about is, that storm's gonna twist a little bit more to the right.
Hey, Dan, are you up and about? Justin needs a little bit of help, mechanical help. His car died.
Yeah.
Sarah had to go and catch the bus.
I think she got a ride this morning.
Did she?
Yeah.
They have no transportation now. And the car is parked in a public parking, commercial parking lot, not commercial lot, but out in front of what's the name of the store?
Yeah, I saw that she was there. It's
Dollar General.
Dollar General.
Yeah. Yes, it's still available.
Oh, Kelsey stayed home. Didn't realize that. See, I didn't think she was still sick. Is she sick on and off?
No, she got what I had the other day.
Oh.
A little freaking cold or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, our school district doesn't start until the day after Labor Day.
I don't know, Dan. I went to go turn into the parking lot and it died as I was turning. And now it just won't start. Like all the lights in the dash, everything comes on and then you push the button, nothing. As far as I know, what's wrong with it, I'm not real entirely sure.
But it's the second time, Dan, it's happened to that car. It happened once to Sarah.
That's what I'm saying, Joe. It depends on how, with that storm. Cause it seems to be moving pretty slow, which is not good because that gives it more time to build strength up in the Gulf in that warm ass water, so. I don't know, so many people are giving me different,
Sad part is he doesn't have any friends or acquaintances that live anywhere near the area. So his car is parked out in front of this store. And he tried everything he could think of, rattled cables and whatever.
yeah, that's exactly what it does, Mike. I mean, it doesn't even attempt to start. It just doesn't do jack shit when you press the
In other
button.
words, it doesn't click or anything.
Nope, doesn't do a damn thing when you press that button. I say it could be quite a few different things, and so many people are throwing so much stuff at me yesterday. I don't even begin to know what the hell it is.
Well, they talked about a relay for the starter that's down on bolted on lower on the engine, but I don't know what that is either.
That was a PCM is one of the things they were talking about yesterday. Oh, man.
What's that? My baby girl baby, daddy got COVID. Daughter was feeling bad.
What make and model Dan's asking?
That's a 2016 Chrysler 200. That's a 4-cylinder. I think it's a
4-cylinder front wheel drive, right?
Yeah, I think it's a 2.4. There was only 3 models of that car for that year.
But you're
thought-
guessing it's the smallest engine, right?
It is, it's not one of the, it's not there was a Chrysler 200, I think S. That had a V6. And then there was, I think, I wanna say there was 2 versions of the 4-cylinder. No, there is no key, Dan. It's just push to start. So you just have the key fob in the car with you and then you push the button and. No, and the lights don't get dim at all, but there is no clicking noise or anything.
Radio works, interior lights work, everything works as it
Yeah,
should.
no, nothing dims out when you press the starter button. It just doesn't do anything. Yeah, I tried jumping it the other day. Nothing.
Anything you can do for him, Dan, is would be appreciated because this happened when? Saturday or Friday?
No, this was Saturday. Saturday, I don't
And
know.
and
I don't
and
remember what time it was at.
he doesn't even have a way to tow it back to his house to do a diagnostic on it. He had to walk home, but it's only about a mile away from his house.
Yeah, it's right under a mile. That's the first time I've ever, like I said, that's the first time I've ever really had any major issues with it. I've had it
Yeah.
since the year it was made.
It's not super high mileage either, is it?
Honestly, I don't know what the mileage is on because I didn't drive it very much up till. Like Sarah drove it 90% of the time. I hardly ever drove it.
Yeah,
'Cause I
because you
had
used
my-
to have a company truck. Yep.
Yeah, I used to drive the work truck, so. I wanna say it's got about 60,000 miles, maybe. a little
Oh,
bit under.
Trevor.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not big on mechanical but Dan is really smart with that kind of stuff.
I'm not either. That's the problem. I just didn't pay attention when I worked in my dad's garage when I was younger. I didn't have an interest in it, I guess.
Sarah says it has less than 100,000 miles on it.
Yeah, I wanna say it's around 60 something.
I think you said you thought it was like 68,000 miles yesterday.
Something around there. I think it's around 60 something if I remember.
But it's nothing.
It's over 85,000? Shit, I didn't realize it was that high. But
No,
guess it
still,
does.
that's not that way.
But we've had it for damn near 7 years, so. I mean, that's not a lot of miles for 7 years, to be honest with you. Most of our driving was mostly local.
Local, yeah. Yeah, I don't ever remember you talking about taking trips with that car.
We took a few I mean, we've drove it to long distance trips a few times, but I would say about 90% of the driving was done locally, just going back and forth to work and shit.
Oh, wow. Did you see what Dan put in the chat?
And from what I'm reading online, this is the most common issues from the car. It was actually labeled as a huge, huge problem, man. Alright, I appreciate it, Dan.
Mm.
A couple other people were saying PCM yesterday too. They thought that's what it was because I was still getting full power to the dash and everything, but it was like the motor side wasn't getting any power.
Well, if Dan, if maybe I'm mistaken, if there was a recall on it, does that go forever? Or if he didn't know it? In other words, can the manufacturer be required to fix the PCM?
I don't think there's a,
Statute
I
of
don't-
limitation?
I don't think there's a limit on recalls.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't hurt probably to look it up and see if there is a recall on it for that.
Because, you remember the cars that used to have the motorized seatbelts that go back?
Yeah,
When you would get in the car, it would go back and
yeah,
lock
they
in.
go back, yep.
There's a couple of models of cars that still have open recalls on those, and they haven't made those in over 20 years. On some of the older cars, and there's actually still open recalls on there. Somebody was doing a video on YouTube about those seatbelts, and apparently it's still one that you can actually take an older car in if you still have one of them. But
Okay, Dan says usually it's a 5-year limitation on it. If you don't get it fixed, it's your problem.
however, what I'm reading here is that you might be able to reset the PCM by disconnecting the battery for a half hour and reconnecting it. Okay, we'll try that because I took the battery. I took the battery cable off for a minute, but I didn't take it off for that long, so.
Dan's go, yeah, and there.
Well, the funny thing is, I was reading an article or a video, watching a video this morning, and they're saying if you're having computer problems, everybody says shut your computer down and reboot it. If you do the shutdown, it'll save everything that was on the computer when you go to restart it. So you're not doing anything. If you hit the restart, it'll do a complete shutdown and you won't get back what you had before. They said you actually should be doing a restart because it does something different than you think a shutdown would shut the whole thing down. But what it does is saves everything where you were. But the thing is, if you do a restart, it'll come back up fresh again. So if you really have problems, you should be hitting restart, not shut down. Yeah.
Well, maybe Dan, when it happened to Sarah, she was at work. And so she went in and worked her shift, came out, and the car started. So it must have, if that happened once before, there's a good possibility that you're right, that it needs to be shut down for a while.
Well, he's saying that it's not gonna fix the problem, it's just gonna reset it temporarily.
But you got to have a half an hour to drain all the capacitors in the PCM. It'll completely reset the computer back to factory. Yeah. I don't know, JD. This guy's a computer guy that was on there telling me about it was all about it. Wasn't just somebody found out. It was an actual computer guy. Yeah.
I don't know, I don't ever shut my computer down, it runs all the time.
Yeah.
I shut it down about once a week. Other than that, it stays on all the time.
Well, I shut mine down when I leave to go to the trailer, but if I start having issues, I normally shut it down, or do a restart. But yeah, basically what it says is when you just hit shutdown, it goes into sleep mode. Yeah, it doesn't actually shut down. But if you hit restart, it'll shut everything right down, then restart everything back up again. Captain Joe says it may be ready to start now since it's been there 2 days.
That's been sitting a while.
Oh, we went back there yesterday and it still wouldn't start either, but I mean,
Still
But the,
I'll,
but the battery is still connected, right? So,
we'll try to do Dan's, suggestion today when she gets home. If
Yeah.
it's still there, hopefully they didn't tow it.
Mm.
But if it's still there when Dan gets, when Sarah gets off, we can go try that. If it doesn't work, then
Well, is the
I think we'll
mother-in-law
work.
around?
Not right now, no.
Oh, okay.
She's a bus driver, so she works during the day.
Well, somehow you got to get yours going.
That'd be something to try anyways. Just go there, disconnect battery, go someplace, go have a coffee. Yep.
Well, you got a bike around there, Justin? Ride over there, disconnect the battery, ride home, and then wait a while.
He must be talking to himself. He was muted. He's coming back here in a minute. You got a phone call going.
Well, the other thing he could do would be call his dealership and where he bought it and ask what they think. Because if it's a common issue, the dealership has dealt with this before, I'm sure.
Wow, it'd be nice if that was it and they fixed it, free of charge.
Yeah. Well, and the other sad part of it is that Justin, being the loner that he is, doesn't have any friends or anybody around him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got all kinds of friends. If I got in trouble, come get me, help me.
Well, this issue here with Justin has led me to believe, I've got Lynn
Mm.
and my tenant upstairs, and they're both working, but as far as anybody being here all the time.
Give the dealer a call and ask if there was a recall, if it can be dealt with, because yours is broke down. They might even collect it and fix it.
Trevor, daylight savings ends here when? Is it October, Paul, or
What's that?
daylight savings time?
Oh, not till the fall. November 1st.
November the 1st, because Trevor was just asking, has the U.S. ended daylight savings?
No, November the 1st, because that's always the first week of the black powder deer hunt. It changes just before the deer hunt. Usually the night before.
W. Drones answered more succinctly than you and I did. He just said no.
Yeah. I don't know. It's November the 1st, I think. Yeah. Because I put in for the black powder for the first 4
Actually,
weeks.
what he's holding in his hand that you see there, Night Train, is his cell phone, but his background doesn't let you see the cell phone.
They cut the daylight saving time. They've been talking about changing that, not going back to it or something, or
Right.
whatever. They've been talking about that for years. Well, all I know, Mark, is that I put in for the deer hunt for black powder here, and it's the first full week of November, and it starts on a Monday. It seems like a Sunday is when they change the time because we always got to figure out. Okay, let me see. It was daylight at 6 o'clock yesterday, but is it 7 o'clock today or 5 o'clock tomorrow? It's always screwed up for us.
Yeah.
Because but see what happens when you get there, it falls back. So if it's 6 o'clock, it's actually 5 o'clock, right? So yeah. Captain Joe says, I thought Justin was having a stroke. His hand was cramping up. About to call 911. And Justin talked to himself, film at 11. Yeah.
Good morning, AZ.
Oh, finally he shows up. Holy mackerel. Talk about watch. Where's my watch? Oh, I had a shower last night. Took it off, forgot to put it back on again.
He's only delayed about 40 minutes. I've had that happen too.
Yeah.
You guys have been sitting there waiting for me.
Yeah.
And then if you wait too long, I get a call from Paul. He says, where the hell are you?
Yeah. Night Train says Zone 1, December 1st to the 10th. Zone 2, 1 to the 10th. And Zone 3, the 1st to the 10th. That's our black powder season. We got 3 of them, 3 black powder seasons. But we got first one, both starts the 1st of October. First black powder is first week of November. And then the next one is around the end of November, and there's one in December again. But yeah.
Joe says to tell Justin to hang in there. He called 911 and they're sending an ambulance.
Yeah. You're talking to somebody, so.
It could be Dan.
Could be. Yeah. Huh.
I was reading your guys' chats while I was on the phone. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Mike said I was throwing up gang signs.
Yeah.
I was Dan on the phone. He was calling because it was easier for him to tell me over the phone. I need a phone like that with a cloaking device installed. Oh, that's funny, Joe. I was trying not to laugh. I was sitting there laughing while I was talking to Dan. I was reading your guys' damn comments.
Yeah, it's too bad you don't have a Dan close to you.
I mean, yeah, if he was a lot closer, that'd be one thing, but I don't expect Dan to come help me because he's,
What's
going
that?
through his own shit right now, and I don't really want to
Uh,
bother him.
Probably, I gotta make a quick phone call.
Yeah.
I was reading Mike's comment though, and I was like, what do you mean gang signs? I look up at the screen, I just see my hand like that. I was like, what the hell? Uh, yeah, that phone's too advanced for you, Joe. Well, I'm gonna go try what Dan said after Sarah gets off. If that don't work, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Just remember, Dan, there's only one place to plug in a computer on a human, so. What's up, Trevor? Justin talks to himself, film at 11. Uh,
Well, I'm gonna have to do it myself here in a minute. Keep it going here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna call and ask that too, Joe, just to see, double check.
Because I know that there's a recall. I just looking at here in Canada, power control module, PCM software, but it's got to do with the cruise control. They said that they inspect the power control module, the PCM software, and perform an update as necessary. Kind of looking to see what they have here in Canada.
Oh, 55's nice weather, Mike.
Yeah, I'm back. The kid from upstairs came down because I'd mentioned to his dad that Lynn was having a hard time mowing her lawn. And so I called Lynn to see if she wanted him to come over. And she said she mowed it, just about killed her over the weekend, but she mowed it. So I dismissed him, told him thanks, but no, we'll let you know in the future.
Justin, if you're gonna disconnect the battery, remember not too close to on it completely. Oh, it's got a little key. Mark. Where you can put it in the door and turn it just to unlock it. The driver's side has a keyhole. It's like an emergency key to get in the car. I was about to say, I looked down, I was like, it's showing I'm talking on the mic, emblem. Sometimes I kind of felt at this too, because like I said, with this mic where it's located, I can't see it when it's down or up. So sometimes I put it up and I forget it's up, and then I don't realize that it's not down. I do that shit all the time. Right, yeah, exactly, Mike. It's got a little emergency key usually at the top. You can push a little button, pop it out just to unlock the door or trunk, whatever. Yeah, mine's on the driver's side.
I just kind of wonder if the battery in the key fob was getting low or something. Maybe thought maybe somebody was trying to steal it and shut it down or something. You know, like it's out of range. You know,
The chip will still work in the car even if the battery's dead. So every car has a different spot in it
yeah,
that you can set a key fob when the battery dies and it will register that the fob is in the car.
yeah.
On mine, you take the fob and you push to start button with it. But I
Oh,
just replaced that battery like a month or two ago.
oh, okay, okay.
And those, what is it, the 2060s, the little flat batteries, those things last forever.
Yeah,
You usually only have to replace those like once a year, if that.
yeah. Because I know, like, you can have a car running and you got the key fob in your pocket. You walk away and the thing will eventually shut down, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, so,
I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if that's the case with the remote. You know, maybe it's shutting down because it thinks that you walked away from it or something.
Or
You know?
it will,
it's
it will,
losing signal.
yeah, but it will tell you on the dash if it doesn't think the fob's in the car, it will come up and say key fob not in vehicle.
Oh.
Like if you try to start it or whatever, it will let the car, like you can do the push to start on it. Or the auto start from the
Yeah.
key fob and it will start up for 15 minutes. And if you don't get in the car with the key fob within 15 minutes, it shuts off. If you get in the car and like say, there's been times where I've gotten in the car, me and Sarah were in the car and Sarah got out with the key fob in her purse to go in the store. And it recognized, oh, the key fob left the car and started dinging at you. Yeah, after about 10 minutes or so, it just shuts off. It won't let you go anywhere. No, Trevor, the engine light did not come on the dash.
The, Paul, this is the reason us old guys, and I
All right, we'll
include
see
you
you
in
later,
that group,
Dan.
miss the days when you used to open the hood of a car. There was the engine, there
Joe,
was a carburetor, there was a battery.
Yeah.
And that was, and the spark plugs all gleamed along the side right there, you know. Now I open the hood on that Tahoe and I go, oh my God, where is everybody?
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's fucking just a jumbled mess.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I said 100 times before, it's every year these car manufacturers are reinventing the wheel. Let's just start
Yeah.
from scratch and rebuild this car from the ground up and put a bunch of random shit we've never tested before in it. And then and that's the thing is every car company has their good models and they have a lot of shitty models. None of them are really better than each other these
Yep.
days. Ford, Chevy, all of them. You'll hear about recall, like major amounts of recalls from all of them every year. It's like they instead of just finding a system that works and sticking with it, why they're researching and developing another better system for 10 years down the road or 5 years down the road, they try to redo it every year, seems like. And then they put a lot of extra shit in cars that don't really need to be in there, like that one, what was it, the F-150 that has the gear shifter that electronically pops up for you? Like, why the
Yeah.
fuck does your shifter need to pop up like that?
Yeah, why do you need a pop-up shifter?
Like, to me, that's just extra bullshit that is gonna end up breaking at some point. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool that your shifter goes and pops up in the center console for you, but does it really need to do that? No.
Yeah. Just something else is wrong, right?
I think Dan pretty much narrowed it down, especially since a couple other people were saying the same thing as him, but Dan went into more detail on it. So I'm really leaning towards it's that PCM.
Yeah.
That power control module.
Oh, there's my call. Hello, Auntie Ann.
Hello there. I'm ready.
Okay, we'll be right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye. Okay, you guys gonna hang on for a while? I'll make Justin the,
Yeah, make
Yeah,
Justin in case I gotta take off. So
Sure, why not? Let's do this.
okay,
What's up, Marshall?
make the host. There you go. Justin, you're in large and in charge.
All right, let's start kicking everybody out of the chat.
I don't want to look at the back of my chair.
Let's see, Joe said, yep, I like it. Like I said, to change the coils plugs on my Hyundai. I had to take off the intake manifold. Like I said, same for the Ford Edge. But wasn't it the F-150s with the Triton motors? I wanna say the whole top, like when you would pop the hood, the entire top layer of the motor was actually the air system. And in order to get to anything, I think you had to tear all that out just to get to the motor, if I remember correctly. Cause I remember somebody back in the day that I knew had bought one was complaining about that. That it was like super expensive to change the plugs in that thing.
what was back years and years ago? I think it was an Opel GT. You had to jack the engine up in order to change the spark plugs on it. I think it was.
I suppose it'd be smart if I
Yeah.
took my wallet with me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen-
Baseball.
I've seen a couple cars over the years that you had to do that.
But there was one guy had a car there. I know he had to do one more mount, had to tip the engine up a bit in order to do it. But like if you had an old van, like an older van or whatever, you had to put them up in the hoist and then take the plugs up from underneath.
Or you had the old little RV vans back in the day that had the
Yeah.
big hatch in them between the two seats.
Yeah.
And you pop it open and the engine was right there.
Yeah, the engine right now.
That was the ones that had the little tiny hood that was like this big. And
Yeah.
you would pop it open, and it was just for doing the fluids.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little hood on the front. Oh, man. Yeah, trucks, man. Marshall, I know he had to pay a pretty penny for those, man, because trucks are not going for cheap right now.
Oh, Jesus. But
Like you could probably sell your truck right now, Hodges, for probably more than what you paid for it.
yeah. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Oh,
Especially the small, especially like the little small trucks, like you said, that they don't make no more.
yep.
People want those, but they stopped making them here in the US.
Right.
You know, those were some of the best trucks back in the day with the little S10s and the little,
But see, and you can't buy them anymore because the government, the EPA rules, you can't do it anymore.
right.
Why they're building such big trucks right now and big SUVs, because there's a footprint where fuel mileage and footprint meet together. Well, the problem is with a little truck like mine, because it's got less of a footprint, it has to get about 45 or 50 miles a gallon. Well, they can't do that. So they go to the bigger footprint and the less fuel mileage they have to worry about. So that's why they've gone to big trucks, big SUVs, in order to meet EPA standards.
Yeah, you ain't doing that unless it's probably, you ain't getting that kind of gas mileage unless it's diesel.
Yeah. But that's why the trucks are so big nowadays, because they make them huge. And I'm just going like, I don't want a truck bed that's this high off the ground. I want it down lower from a little truck, right? And but anyways,
But back in the day, man, S10s and little Ford Rangers, those are some good little reliable trucks.
oh, they were, yeah, yeah. I like my little Ford Ranger. Oh, there's another ship going by, Paul. Background, another
My
tall.
dad, my dad had an S10 that had over 450,000 miles on it.
Yep, I had.
And
Well, I had GMC 15 or whatever they call that, but it was they call it Sonoma. It was a GMC truck, basically.
And that was a manual and it never had any serious issues. The only reason my dad got rid of it was because my cousin was going through a red light, or my cousin was going through a green light and a lady ran a red light and T-boned him.
Should
And
have.
totaled it. Otherwise, that truck probably would have got over 500,000 miles on it. That was a little Chevy S10. That thing ran great for years.
Oh yeah, they had a little 4.3. I had a 4.3 liter engine in it. That thing.
Had the little jump seats in the back.
Yep. Yeah.
Dude, I spent hours riding in the back there. I hated riding in the back of that thing.
I think they called it the S15 or something, but it was with the 4.3 liter. Didn't have had a little V6 in it compared to the other ones, a little four banger, right? So
That's what my dad's was a 4-cylinder.
yeah.
I remember I had those stupid little jump seats in the back, and I don't know. God, I used to ride so much back there. I hated riding in the back of that truck. It's so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got them in the back of my truck, the little jump seats that pull down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But never been used. You know.
But it was like they were just it was so tight back there. You didn't have any room. Even as a
No.
kid, you barely
Yeah.
had any room back there. Fuck getting back there as a full-size adult, Jesus. One ass cheek would be on the seat.
Well, when you put your feet out, you hit the other side of the truck, so you
Yeah.
couldn't put them in there very, But you're right there, Travis. Yeah, that auto braking lane assist. Yeah, when the sensors on those things wear out. Yeah.
Oh, everybody I've ever heard that has the lane assist hates that shit.
Hmm.
Cause the car will like fight you to want to get over. I think you can turn that off though in some cars though, can't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, I remember the old station wagons, like the one in Vacation, the movie Vacations, the one that they always drove. Yeah, my aunt had one of those. It had the two big fold-out seats in the back. It was like one of the first third row seating cars. You had the seats in the front and the bench seat in the back, and then there was two little bench seats in the back that folded out on both sides. And two people could sit on each seat.
I think my dad was a Chevy Bel Air wagon. It had the seat at the back that faced backwards.
Uh-huh.
I think it was a 9-passenger they called it or something.
Oh, dude, we used to cram like 12 people in that fucking in the old station wagon. I remember my aunt had that, and she had 9 kids. 2 of them were adopted.
Yeah.
Or no, she had 7 kids, and the 2 were adopted, the 2 oldest. And yeah, me and my couple of my other cousins would come down to visit. Dude, there'd be like 12 of us crammed in that fucking thing. Yeah, yeah, and like the seats that were way in the back, the reverse seats. Just in order to completely reboot, you need to hold down shift button and restart. AZ's answering you, Hodges, about your question earlier about the
Oh.
computers.
Oh, okay. In order to complete reboot, you need to hold down the shift button and restart. Oh,
With Ford vehicles, lane assist can only be turned off for one trip. Like one trip in its entire lifetime of the car, Trevor?
no, every time you go out, you got to
Turn it off.
turn it off because it's probably on by default, right? So,
Huh. I don't know. None of my cars have ever had that, so I've never really dealt with that.
Hmm.
I think Sarah's mom's Hyundai has that, her SUV she has. I think hers has that, where the lane assist thing. And David said not just to restart
yeah.
in that order to, and it
Oh,
clears
okay.
the memory and all the temporary
Not just
files.
restart. Okay, and clearing all the temp files. Okay. Maybe that's what Paul needs to do. He has so much freaking trouble with it, but
Paul
his-
needs an, no, Paul needs an iMac.
Yeah.
Something that won't let him do stupid shit. It won't let him click on programs, be like, yeah, download.
but then again, you see Paul, he goes to those sites where, you know, he can buy a car for $49, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just bought 3 of those yesterday.
Yeah.
Said if you buy 3, you get them for 20.
Yeah. Just, I don't know why he goes over and clicks on those stupid things. And we're sitting there, we all tell him it's a scam, but he does it anyways.
Mhm.
Well, you never know. Yeah, we know.
Like I said, I really think scammers would make more money and convince more people to buy it if they up the price on it.
Yeah,
Like, say you're selling it for $800, but it's really, if you know your shit, you're gonna know it's worth 2,000.
yeah,
But anybody that doesn't know what that particular item might be worth on a regular blue book value, they might be like, oh, $500, yeah. Or $800, yeah, and they click on it and buy it, and then the scammer gets 500 or 800
yeah.
instead of a
Instead of $20, you know.
right.
Yeah.
I think the scammers are selling themselves a little short.
Yeah. Maybe they get more of them because it's such a cheap price. I don't know.
The shoe gun had 2 fold down seats in the back to make it a 7-seater. I had a 1982 Malibu Classic station wagon, put a full-size washer and dryer in it once. Alright, let me look at that, Joe. There's Joe's old station wagon there.
Oh, geez, yeah.
My aunt had the, and my dad had one at one point. It was the one in Vacation with the big brown wood paneling on the side. It looked like wood, but it wasn't. You remember those, the big brown one? It had that fake wood paneling on the side. I don't remember exactly what model those were, but it was just like the one in Vacation. If that was the same one that Mike was talking about, the Plymouth Safari wagon, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think my dad was Chevy, either Bel Air or Biscayne or something. It was a big station wagon, but it had the seat in the back. You fold it up and you could put 3 people across it, but they face out the back window. But you notice they don't make them anymore.
Yeah, probably dangerous as shit by today's standards.
Well, yeah, somebody rear ends you, put you right there, and your legs are right there. You know.
Shit, I
Yeah.
remember when the Astro minivans came out. Was it the Chevy Astro vans? God, those were like the big thing back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, the Astro vans, yeah.
My dad bought a brand new one, had it for about a year and a half, and then he ended up getting divorced from his second wife. And he ended up just giving it to my aunt. He paid it off and gave it to my aunt. She had it for years. Shit, she probably had that van for 12 or 13 years till that bitch fell apart.
My uncle down here in town there, he died 5 or 6 years ago, but there's still a Chevy Astro van sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad had that bright baby blue one. Cause I think that was one of the first vans that had the sliding door on the side and
My dad had one of those Pacer wagons, you know. The passenger door was twice the size of the driver's door. Holy, like a fishbowl on wheels. That thing was ugly. I think American Motors made that one, the Pacer.
I don't know. That one doesn't sound familiar to me. I might have seen one back in the day. And then I remember when my dad had the little Datsun trucks. Remember those?
Oh, Datsun, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We actually had two, my dad actually, or it was either my dad or my uncle actually made 2 trailers out of old Datsun, pickup truck beds.
Yeah.
Where
I
they
can
cut the,
But I can remember on those Datsun pickup trucks, my brother had one, and one of the shock towers in the front was collapsing. So he jacked down, pushed it over, and put a piece of 2x4 across and wired it down to keep it from coming in. He drove quite a while.
yeah, my dad had 2 of those trailers though. And they just cut the frame on the truck. And then they welded a tow hitch to it, to the frame. Did something with the back wheels, and just, yeah, they were heavy trailers. But yeah, I remember we had 2 of those for years. Had the old little handles that you had to unclip the tailgate for.
Oh, I did it again. I'll get it right one of these days.
Yeah, I remember last time you showed the wrong screen.
Yeah, but anyways, right here, that's one of those Pacer.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those before.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the same? I want to say that was the same car that was in, was it, Wayne's World? Was that the car that they drove in Wayne's World? Any of you guys in the chat now?
Mhm.
Oh, my dad's Astro van. I want to say that was, God, dude, that had to have been, I don't even know what year it was, but I remember he got it sometime in the mid-90s.
Dustin said he took his driver's test in an AMC Pacer.
Yeah.
And they changed
Oh,
the
that
wheel.
was a gremlin in Wayne's World. Okay.
Okay.
What was a little car that him and Garth drove around in, and he had the little licorice thing that he would eat the licorice rope out of? Kind of looked like kind of looked like that car a little bit. Mike's saying it was a Pacer. Yeah, I thought so, Mike. It looked really familiar. The only reason why the 1976 AMC Pacer is still famous is because of its role in as Garth Mirthmobile in the 1992 movie Wayne's World. Okay. Yeah, dude, I was actually watching a speaking of that car, matter of fact, I was watching this channel that I'm subscribed to. I wish I remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up, but he was doing like going through an old desert town out in, I think it was either Arizona or New Mexico, and he found somebody's yard, dude, and they had like 30 or 40 of those Pacers just sitting in the back of the property, just sitting there. I forgot all about that now that I'm remembering that. That was, what, about a month ago I watched that video or so? Cause they actually talked about the Wayne's World in that video.
Yeah.
I just remember, I can't remember which fucking video the guy did it in, cause he always marks it Discovering Desert Town. He doesn't really put any descriptions in there about him. We had a Gremlin and a Pinto at one time too. Oh yeah, a couple of my uncles had Pintos back in the day. Oh, fucking Matt. One of those little bastards running around in here.
Yeah, I used to have a Pinto.
My grandpa had a few El Caminos.
Yeah.
Oh, who hadn't had, oh yeah, El Caminos.
Yeah.
I wanna say, what's those cars, Trevor? You guys have those over in Australia. And they look very similar to an El Camino.
Hmm.
And I think, don't they still make those? I wanna say that's the car that, Mars has, I think. I think Mars has one. And it looks just like an El Camino. It's got the like kind of a half truck bed in the back. Cause they haven't made El Caminos in years. But I've seen some really nice, like restored El Caminos though. I don't really care for El Caminos. I just don't like the look of them, but I have seen some really nice restored ones.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're nice too.
Ranchero. I remember, I think it was Dominic, Matt, and Mars were all talking about him one night on it might have been mine or Matt's live stream.
I used to have a Poncho Pontiac convertible. I think it was 62 or 63 Pontiac convertible. You call it a Poncho. But there was another one I wanted that originally came out, years ago, was a Jeep truck. I forget what they had a name, something along that line. I forget what it was now.
Yeah, I'll show you what El Camino looks like. Let me pull one up.
Because I know Jeep was talking about coming out with a new truck. They called it the Brute. I was really interested in that one, but they never ever built it.
Alright, so Trevor, an El Camino kind of looks, is this right here. It's got the truck bed in the back.
Yeah. Oh, the El Camino. Yep.
Like I said, there's some really nice restored ones out there. I just don't really like the look of them myself. I don't really like the half truck, half car look.
Honcho. That's it. That was one of the ones I wanted when I was younger. The Honcho. Yeah.
Or the Ford version Ranchero. Yeah, but I would say the El Camino is probably the most well-known one. Like, you'd almost say El Camino to anybody and they'll know what the hell you're talking about. Oh, yeah, that's, Demon Hunters that drive the El Camino. Wasn't that, oh, what the hell is it? I actually watched that entire series. I know who you're talking about. It's the two brothers. That drive the El Camino. Hold on. That drive the, what was it? What was the name of that? Supernatural. That was actually a good show. I like that show. I actually binge watched the shit out of that show like 2-3 years ago. God, it took forever to get through that show. Cause there's like, I think 20 something seasons or some shit. But I don't think they drove I don't think it was an El Camino, was it? If that's the same show I'm thinking of, it was about two brothers that, they drove an older car. I just can't remember what it was, but, yeah, they went around hunting demons and shit. It's called Supernatural. But, was it an El Camino? I don't think it was, Mark. Supernatural car. Let's see what it was. Cause I remember they had a truck. Uh, it was an Impala. That's what it was. Here, I'll show it to you. It was this car here,
Yeah.
Chevy Impala, an old school. That's what they drove in the show there. Cause I remember the car had a trunk because they would always pop it and they had like secret compartments in there where they would hide all their like demon hunting stuff and their guns and everything.
Oop.
That was actually a good show though, if anybody hasn't seen it. If you're into like sci-fi type shows. And there's a lot of seasons too. Like, let me look. I want to say there was like close to 20 seasons. Uh, oh, it's 15 seasons. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, there was a lot of seasons of that show. And they were actually gonna go, That show could have actually kept going for another few seasons, but I guess the actors kind of felt like it was time to end it. Although they could have kept the storyline going. It was still pretty good at the time. I was kind of mad they ended it. Cause they had an interview with the two main guys that played the brothers and they were kind of ready to move on and end the show. Cause they'd been doing the same show for so many years. Was made here by Holden. They stopped making that car 10 years ago. Holden closed
Hmm.
operations in Australia. Okay, so that was your guys' version of it. I gotta finish watching Shameless before Tim passes me up in the episodes.
Yeah.
It's creeping up on me.
Well,
This is like the road construction capital of the world, for Christ's sake.
you haven't been to St. Thomas.
Yeah, come to Florida and then tell me about road construction.
There's double tanker trucks with carrying shit and cement mixers and barricades and, oh my God.
Can't drive more than a mile from my house without hitting some kind of construction. Oh, and he stopped at Tim Hortons.
Oh, geez, that's okay. I'm gonna be there right soon because I gotta go to.
See
There's
that, Paul? There they are.
Yeah, that's it. Paul.
Did you stop and get your cranberry juice like you were supposed to?
No,
Of course not.
Of course not. You have to get pretty straight.
they don't have canned cranberry juice at Tim Hortons. What are you talking about?
No, they might. Oh, they got everything else there.
But you know what else I got, which is unusual for me? You might appreciate this, Justin. I got a breakfast wrap. It's like a breakfast burrito.
Yep.
Where at Tim Hortons?
Tim
Yep.
Hortons. Yep.
Pretty good farmer's breakfast wrap.
Yeah, it's got. You see if I can open it up for you.
I was never, my sister loved Tim Hortons when she was up in Buffalo.
Sausage, egg, and a what do you call it? Potato. The hash brown.
Oh, it's the same here, Daryl with the I-4 in Florida. That shit's been nonstop construction for 20 plus years.
Hmm.
They get one section done and by the time they get down to it, they have to come all the way back to where they were originally at and add more shit or fix more shit. And it's just continuous. You can make a whole damn career just being a road construction worker on I-4. Joe said, what? No cheese?
Oh yeah, it's got cheese in it.
Didn't they put a couple Tim Hortons over in Australia? Yeah, if I could get there, Trevor. Oh, fucking car now. Piece of shit. I thought they had a couple over there. I know they have them in the UK, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I thought somebody said there was one or two over there, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they have any or not. That'd be a good Google question, right? Are there Tim Hortons in Australia?
Yeah.
they're starting to go multinational, so.
Yeah. But the thing is, does it taste the same here? Does it would in Australia or England? Like they might have a different taste, use different beans. They could use all kinds of things, right?
Well,
You're
that's the thing is no restaurant can be the same across the board because certain countries don't allow certain ingredients and stuff, so you have to change the formula.
Yeah.
This is why soda tastes different in the UK to the American, same brand, right?
Yeah.
But it tastes completely different because they're not allowed to use some of the dyes and sugars and all that.
Yeah.
But guess what? Those countries, their lifespan isn't any longer than here. So what the fuck's the point? It should be people's choice what they put in their body. If they want to fucking eat artificial sugar or whatever.
Well, now was it down there? Biden says you should only drink 2 beers a week now. So they can police in all the beer stores.
Are gonna be a new prohibition now?
Yeah. Well, they already changed it here in Canada, so
Saw how the last one went.
yeah. Yeah, the government wants to control everything you do. They should have no say whatsoever what you put into your own body, you know?
Cause that's what I find funny is a lot of the European countries have super strict rules on foods and everything, but they don't, it's not like they're not suffering from just as much medical issues as any other part of the world.
Yeah.
That's true, Daryl. Yeah, and fast food restaurants, they serve. Like if you go to a McDonald's over in Japan, it's completely different from a McDonald's over here. They actually serve like sushi and shit. They have, because I was watching a guy that was doing a couple different guys that live over in Japan that are American and they were doing some tours of Japan and both of them that went into the McDonald's, they have the basic 10 items that, you know, your basic 10 meals like you have over here, the Big Mac, the double quarter pounder, all that. But most of their other dishes are all Japanese based. And it makes sense if you're gonna do that because just because the food's successful in one country, don't mean it's gonna be successful in another. People just might not like it. So you have to switch up what you serve.
Well, it's 10:30. I better get my butt in gear. I got to go put a sign up. So,
Alright.
yeah, I might do some sanding today and maybe a little more mud. We'll see. I want to get that dining room done downstairs. So,
Here's the answer to our question, Paul. I said, are there Tim Hortons in Australia? Yes, Tim Hortons has locations in Australia, according to the source. Tim
Yeah.
Hortons has locations in 15 countries around the world, including Australia. However, it is unclear how many locations are in Australia. You can check the official website of Tim Hortons and find the nearest location to you.
yeah, there's an app. If you say you're going to a new town, like driving, and you go to the app, it says click on find the nearest Tim Hortons to me.
Oh,
You know,
really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and some of these corporations, when they go into countries like Australia and stuff, they don't tend to set up too many locations because their population is just actually kind of small.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna put they're gonna put more locations with a higher population.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, Australia's really got quite a low population compared to
Yeah.
most countries.
Yeah, but Brisbane, there's places where there's a lot of activity
Well-
like Brisbane and
Well, there's a high concentration of people in smaller areas around Australia, but their total population is less than what Florida has.
Wow, here in town, I think there's 6 or 7 Tim Hortons here in town. We're a population of 40,000. So. But anyways, okay, guys, we'll see you tonight.
We'll see you later.
Yep, bye.
This is why I think certain companies like, that's probably why you don't see Walmarts in Australia, cause it's probably not a big enough. They probably don't deem it big enough to really make them enough money to set up a bunch of locations there. I would assume. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. It's 28 million can only support so much of one business, you know? Which I'm sure that's probably a little bit more than 28 now. I'm sure they're probably pushing around 30 maybe. But I think they do their census more than we do. I think they do it every, what, 2 years or something, Trevor? I think you guys do it. I think we do ours, what, every 4 years? They do the census?
yeah. Or is it 10 years?
Yeah, you guys have, what is it called? Walmart? Yeah, it's like is it Big W? Is that what you guys call it? That was the one that Tim thought was part of Walmart, but then we researched it and found out they had nothing to do with Walmart. Oh, you guys do yours every 5 years, okay. So what was your total population then? Yeah, I still think, Walmart still owns quite a bit of shares in Asda. I don't think that they're I don't think they have a controlling share of it anymore, Mark, but I could be wrong on that. Cause we did look into it not too long ago and they said that the Asda brothers still own it. But, I think Walmart has like 40% of their shares or something. Like it's a big chunk of the company. Yeah, Walmart makes shit tons of money every year. Oh my God. And their online business has just exploded. Their online grocery business the last 2 years. It's gotten insanely huge. Is it? As it stands for associated, there is.
Big W, Woolies, Food, Kmart, Kohl's, Costco's and others.
Kmart, man, they went bankrupt over here.
Yep.
There hasn't been a Kmart in over 5 years in the US. I think the last one shut down like 5 or 6 years ago. I actually went to the one that shut down here back when they were having their permanent closing sale. I got some really good deals on electronics in there. But it was like sad when you walked into a Kmart, even when they were still around before they filed Chapter 11.
Originally,
in-
they were something, they were it.
Yeah, you would go in there though, and there would just be no employees working in there. It'd be 1 or 2 people at the cash registers, and that's it. You go to the electronics department, there'd be nobody there. You'd go to, they didn't have any employees on the floor at all. Yeah, Kmart just couldn't compete with Walmart, man. Walmart killed Kmart over here. Cause
Yep.
what Walmart did was undercut them like a motherfucker on prices. And Walmart lost money, but in turn, in the long run, it gave Walmart one of the, if not the,
They made a supremacy in that market.
right, that gave them the biggest market share in the brick and mortar retail stores, and they just killed everybody else. Sears went under. None of them could compete with Walmart.
Yeah, Sears went under too. But Sears, I think, was killed by some of the electronic stores that came up, wasn't it?
I think it was a mixture of like, because they were kind of a tool slash clothing,
Yeah, they a little bit of everything.
right? And I think it was a mixture of a few different stores. I think like Best Buy, Walmart kind of killed them. Yeah, they just couldn't compete.
Well, J.C. Penney did the same thing.
Yeah. It's, yeah, a lot of iconic stores, got killed over the last 10 years. 10, 15 years, there was a lot of iconic names that went under. Yeah, Target got screwed really bad in Canada. So Walmart's kinda Canada's Walmart's domain now. Like Walmart pretty much is like in Canada, like they are in the US. They pretty much have the foothold there. And Target came into Canada, I think it was about 10 years ago, and they opened like over 200 or 300 stores in Canada. Ended up only being open for like a year or two, ended up going up, and then they ended up closing all their stores abruptly because they couldn't compete with Walmart in Canada. And Target lost, I want to say it was like it was quite a few, it was multi-billions of dollars over that. They really screwed themselves on that whole venture. Yeah, and it was the internet shopping too. See, some of these companies just didn't keep up with the times. They didn't innovate with the rest of the companies. And honestly, if Walmart wouldn't have jumped on the internet bandwagon when they did about 5, 6 years ago and really put the hammer to it and started investing billions into it, they probably would have went under too. But Walmart, at the last minute, they were like, we got to do something. And they started dumping billions of dollars into their online. And they bought Jet.com, which was actually one of the co-founders of Amazon, started his own company called Jet.com. And he modeled his entire online shopping experience after Amazon because he was part of Amazon at the beginning. And so Walmart came in and bought his company out and then hired him to get a jump start on their online business. But yeah, Walmart probably would have faced the same thing if they wouldn't have jumped on it. Now Walmart's grocery online is just insanely busy, man. They are making so much money. Every quarter they're reporting 300-400 million and more in profit from that. Because Walmart already has the market share of grocery in the US. I mean, they have that whole market cornered. So we used to go to these Walmart manager meetings. Dude, they would scoff at all these little grocery companies like Publix and stuff. They'd be like, "Yeah, those guys aren't our competitors. We're way over their head. We're on a different level." That's the attitude that they had towards them, was just vicious, like we're gonna destroy everybody. Was this attitude that they had. And they didn't consider other grocery chains as competitors. Because even when it comes to food stamps, they have they receive Walmart gets about 80 to 85% of all the food stamps in the country every year. Which equates to, you know, I think like 6 or 7 billion or something every year. It's quite a bit. More families shop at Walmart that are on food stamps than any other grocery chain. Just like they're the biggest banana, you know, they move the most bananas in the world. They're actually the biggest seller of bananas in the entire world. Yeah. Walmart bought them out like 6 or 7 years ago, Mark. But yeah, that's a problem though, is a lot of these companies just didn't move with the times. They didn't innovate their online presence in time, and it was the same thing with Toys R Us. You know, Toys R Us, you know that they're actually still around. They actually have an online store now. They're just strictly online. Even though they got rid of all the stores. Which I think they still have some Toys R Us's in the UK, Mark, I think. You guys still have them? But here in the US, it's just basically online.
Yeah, see, up here in the north, Justin, one of the biggest competitors is Meyer Pharmacy and Supermarket. And I just looked them up. Their gross revenues is $19.6 billion.
Yeah, and that's nothing. You're talking
No.
about like Daryl said, Walmart's and Amazon, they're the only two on that level of competing. Everybody else below them, to them is just in their way. Shit little companies that are in their way. Those are the only two that can compete with each other. Cause they're both on that level of making multi-billions a year. I mean, both those companies together make more than some companies, some countries' entire GDP every year. Walmart actually makes like 6 times more than Russia spends on their military every year. Billions a year, I mean. Both those companies together make more than some companies or some countries' entire GDP every year. Walmart. Yeah, it's Costco's is the same as Sam's Club, Mark. The military every year. Paul, you got YouTube playing. But yeah, Sam's Club is the same as Costco. They it's like bulk buying here. But I would say as far as the only thing I would disagree with that statement, Daryl, that you said about Amazon and Walmart is when it comes to groceries, dude, Walmart's dominant in that category. And grocery, actually, you make a higher profit margin per item on grocery items than you do everyday, like perishable items, like clothes and stuff. You actually make a higher profit margin off of grocery because most Walmart stores, it's like 70% of their profit margin for each store actually comes from the grocery side of the store, not from the everyday products that are on the other side, the GM side, the general merchandise. Yeah, I saw that, David, that Elon Musk is guaranteeing those Tesla 18-wheelers to not break down for 1 million miles because he's saying that. So all 4 of the wheels in the back have independent motors, and they say if 2 of the motors go out, that the truck will still have plenty of power and won't be affected and can still run with 2 of the motors being out. That's kind of what he seemed to be going off of. No, I didn't get home yet. Yeah, I don't think they will either, Daryl. That's my biggest thing because they bought Whole Foods, and let's face it, Amazon was selling to a larger category of middle class and kind of the poorer class people more than they were, you know, the 1%er. And Whole Foods, I thought was kind of a terrible buy for them. I think they would have been better off buying like Kroger's or one of the other big grocery chains in the country. Because Whole Foods is, I mean, their foods are already like 3 times the price of what you would pay for at Walmart. For the same brands too. I mean, it's not like Whole Foods is so much better than Walmart. I mean, they carry some of the same brand shit. And they charge you 3 times as much for a smaller portion of what you would pay for at Walmart. Because, you know, people who are kind of upscale, that's kind of an upscale grocery chain. And I thought that was kind of a bad buy for them, and hasn't seemed to really help their business on the grocery side too much since they made that purchase. So I think they would have been better off buying like Kroger's or one of the big, you know, the brand, like the parent companies that have a bunch of grocery chains that are underneath them.
Like
That have
A and P, or
yeah, or like in California, how they have Vons and Stater Brothers and Food for Less. Like if they would have bought the parent companies that owned all those brands, they probably would have done better on the grocery side.
Laura's giving you a hard time in the chat.
What's up, Laura? But I think Whole Foods was kind of a bad buy for Amazon, in my opinion. I don't think it was a good buy for them just because it's kind of a high class grocery store. Kind of like Publix is here. You go to Publix here in Florida and you're going to pay 3 times as much for products in there. But I can't really fault Publix because they have some of the best customer service. I mean, I could go in there and buy a pack of gum and they will literally ask me at the register, would you like me to walk that out to your car for you? No, I'm good. Like they have really good customer service and they still have baggers and things that most grocery stores have gotten rid of, but you're going to pay for that when you go shopping there, right? Because they have to pay for more overhead.
He was ignoring me, Paul. Never put him in charge again.
I always slightly ignore you when you first come into the chat, Laura, until you calm down with all the rude comments. What's
Well,
up,
Laura,
Donald?
You're always welcome. You know that.
How's it going, Donald?
I had to go pick up my 96-year-old aunt from the eye doctor. Her son dropped her off. At once a month or once every month and a half, she gets shots in her eyes. She has to go to an obstetrician here on Eye Clinic.
Actually, Laura's
who woke up little Llama Laura.
actually she's 5 hours ahead of us, Trevor, so she's done been up.
Yeah, it's almost 4 o'clock there.
Hey, I'm just giving my opinion from looking from the outside in. That's all I'm saying. Just because somebody's rich and has been successful don't mean they don't make stupid buys sometimes. If there's one business I understand is retail. That's what I was in most of my working adult life was retail.
Speaking of which, have you heard anything more on your applications?
Every time I put one in, they send me crap back. Oh, we're looking in a different direction. You know, I thought these companies around here were hurting for people so bad, but they don't seem to be. So.
Well, get yourself a lawyer. And what you do is you go after the company that terminated you, and you sue them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And another case that the lawyer would handle would be that they are discriminating against you by downing you in the workplace. And you could follow up by that by just have somebody apply at the same time you do for the same job with less qualifications and see if they get a call back.
I didn't say Bezos knows nothing about retail. He's a bit of a prick, though. I don't like Bezos. He's an asshole.
Well, I always thought Bezos was bozo until I figured out it was different.
Oh, my aunt is getting the same procedure. every
Yep.
month. It's
Yep,
understandable.
my aunt is 90, 94, 95, maybe 96, but yeah, in the same vintage.
He called his aunt vintage.
Well, you get to be that age, you're vintage. You're not just average every day off the shelf, you know?
Makes you feel young, doesn't it?
Yeah, David, it's she gets the shots. She's been doing this now for a couple of years. I don't know, but I think it's insurance, but who knows if it's insurance or if she's paying. Or if there's a copay, I don't know. Do not know.
I don't know, man. Having a bunch of medical procedures at that age, I'm gonna use the word of the month because it's turned into the word of the month. But it feels like it's a little bit redundant. It's like, how much longer is it really gonna get you along? She's back in Baltimore. She's back in Baltimore, otherwise I'd have to do the same and give her a ride every month. Get old enough, you become a collector's item. "96 years old, man, the shit they've seen in that time. Good God. How old were you in 85, Paul?
Well, I was born 1952. 30, so I'd be 30, 33 years old.
Jesus, you were 33 when I was born. Yeah.
1985 is when I got my Little Caesars Pizza franchise, and that was after I did 4 years as the Register of Deeds, elected to countywide office. Decided that wasn't for me.
And my dad was born in 59. '85, I was 1. Yeah, you're not much younger than me. Or -1. What year were you born, W? Yeah, I'm sure, I'm guessing 86, 87. Mark said 1985, I was 26. Yeah, so W's only a year younger than me. Oh,
Mark
you're
says
just-
he's been working for 3 years.
Finally, somebody else took, oh no, cause Sarah and Laura are younger than me too. Laura, I think, is 2 years younger than us. She's like the youngest one, I think, that's usually on the panel. Besides Carlos and Daniel. and they occasionally pop up. They probably. As far as the regulars go, Laura's definitely the youngest. Cause she would have been, I think Laura was born in 87. $1955 for me, February 4th, I'll be 69, looking forward to a great year. Yeah, you're not too far behind Paul, only a few years.
Few years. Yeah.
71, right?
When I was born,
No, you're 71 now, right?
71. Yep.
Yeah, so he's only like 3 years behind you. Donald. Laura is regular, she's irregular as hell. Yeah, she is.
Sad part is it's so easy to pick on Laura,
Donald was the youngest one on Bill's chat or panel last night.
Yeah, how'd that go? I was editing and then
I was in and out. I didn't watch the whole thing. I came in for a little bit and then I left and then I came back in right at the end.
Sarah says I'm younger than her mother's boyfriend.
And my mom. Yeah, she's saying, Murray, you're younger than my mom's boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 75. But Sarah's mom's not that much younger than him. She's 69, I think, so they're only like 5 or 6 years apart. Or 76, I can't remember.
Laura just warned Trevor, don't you start.
Sure, she is from the UK. Yeah, he's 76, so.
So he's 10 years older.
Yeah, that's, oh, she's only 60, I thought she was 69. No, I guess not. That's still not that far apart though.
Well, when you're younger, 10 years isn't a big number. But, when you're really young, 10 years was a big deal. Then you got middle of life and it wasn't such a big deal. And then as you get older, 10 years starts to become a big deal again.
Oh yeah, if a 30-year-old's dating a 20-year-old today, then people make a big ass deal about it.
Yep, exactly.
But But then you can be 50 dating a 40-year-old, nobody seems to care.
Nobody says nothing, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Oh, so this is funny, right? Is normally her mom goes to bed at like 7 o'clock, right? Cause she has to get up at like 4 in the morning to go drive the bus. And she gets like super pissy if there's any little noise in the house. But yeah, her boyfriend was out there last night in the living room, had the fucking TV blaring loud as shit. I could hear it over my headphones in the bedroom
Wow.
with the door shut. And she apparently didn't hear any of that. What the fuck?
Well, she learned the art of tuning out,
But yeah, I would go out there and the door would go. And she is super pissed. Like, what the fuck? I've been through.
Wow, Captain Joe. You've been through a lot in life. Good for you.
My dad had 2 knee replacements. Joe. Well, good for you if you're feeling good.
Well, it's a lot. I'm sure that with all of those injuries that you've had, Joe, you got to keep limber, right? You got to keep moving.
He's definitely on the move all the time, that's for sure. You hear him complaining about getting jock itch all the time. Ain't from sitting still. Yeah, dude, he had that TV fucking cranked up last night. I came in the room, I said, Jesus, he's got that TV turned up.
Well, why doesn't she get him headphones?
No, I don't know. It wasn't really bothering me. I was just surprised her mom didn't say anything. That was on what I came in the room and told her. I was like, man, I can't believe your mom hasn't said nothing to him about that TV.
She broke the same wrist 3 times. How did you do that? Is that from falling or what?
Oh, I've broken so many bones back when I was younger. Good God, I broke my wrist, my thumb. Broke my arm. Broke, one of my, I think it was this finger here. Yeah, I broke quite a few bones back in the day. Actually, everybody in our family's broken a bone, I think. I think all 3 of the kids have had broken bones. I think it, except for Thomas. I think Thomas is the only one that, hasn't had a broken bone. But I know both the girls have had them. And kid, Sarah did too. What was it, your thumb you broke not too long ago? It was a couple of years back. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Thomas, I think, is the only one that has it. One trip over when I was a child. Trip over, somebody pulled the chair out, landed on my wrist. Oh yeah, it was your ring finger, that's right.
Laura, not good. Don't be breaking it anymore. Sarah broke a ring finger.
Yeah. I don't remember how she did it. But yeah, she broke her ring finger and, I think it was a slight fracture. I don't, and, she had it in like a stent thing for weeks. The girls, they casted both their hands up because, with kids, it's better just to cast up a broken finger to protect it, because they're not as
Right.
vigilant. Especially if they're at school too, somebody runs into them or something, you'd rather have that on their arm. See, when I broke my arm, it was a 360-degree break. Started at the top of my arm and went all the way around to the bottom here. And they didn't cast my arm up, so I had to be out of school. Oh shit, was it like 8 weeks or something? Almost 2.5 months. And I was in a sling and I had to just have it in a sling tied up against my chest like this because they didn't want to cast it the way it was broken at the time. And, but it was too dangerous for me to go to school because they didn't want me to fall or somebody to run into me. And the
Yeah.
school was already afraid my dad was going to sue him because they didn't have any policy in place at the time about kids playing in trees. There was actually no policy about it. And me and this other kid were playing around in a tree. And it was the same kid. I broke his arm 3 years before that. We were playing up in the tree and it was like 6th or 7th grade and he pushed me and I fell out of the tree and broke my arm. And since the school didn't have no technical policy on it at the time, they were afraid my dad was going to sue the shit out of him. And I couldn't write because it was my right hand. So the school came up with an agreement with my dad that I was allowed to get full straight A's the whole time I was out, but I had to do an hour with the teacher every day after school. The teacher had to come to my house and do an hour's worth of work with me and go over
Follow-up.
everything.
Yeah.
And he had to do that every day after school, Monday through Friday. The teacher had to come to my house, and that was the agreement they had so my dad wouldn't sue the school. And my dad, I don't think even was planning on suing the school. They just assumed he was going to, and they freaked out. And that was the agreement they came up with my dad. So the 2.5 months I was out of school, I was getting straight A's and I was only doing an hour worth of work every day after school. The teacher would come to my house and tutor me for an hour or so after school every day. Because I couldn't write or anything neither. My hand was like this up against my chest, like tied really tight with a sling so I couldn't move it. And yeah, it was payback, Joe. So back in 5th grade, because this happened in 7th grade, in 5th grade, we were playing Red Rover Come Over
Yeah.
in elementary school. He was running in front of me and tripped and I stepped on his arm because obviously I couldn't stop. We were in a full bore run. And I stepped on his arm and broke it. And then a couple other kids behind me fell on top of him after he fell and I ran over him. And yeah, it snapped his arm in half. And then 3 years later, he broke my damn arm. And to this day, me and him will have a laugh on it. Every once in a while, I'll talk to him on Facebook and we have a laugh about it. That was Peter Valoria. Me and him grew up together. I played soccer. Me and him played soccer on the same city league for like 6 years when I was growing up. His uncle was actually the coach for our team. That's one person I'll never forget in my life, only because of all the run-ins we had. But nah, he was a good dude. Well, let's just say there was a heavy policy set in place after that. If they caught you in a tree or anything, man, they were all over you. I remember that for the first like all through my 8th grade year and the rest of my 7th grade year. Yeah, they were super strict about anybody getting around because the one tree we were playing in, it grew out on an angle and you could literally walk up the tree like 15 feet and just literally walk right up the side of it. And then by the time you got to the end of it, you were probably about 10 or 15 feet off the ground. And I got up to the top of it and that's when he pushed me out of the tree. And I don't even know to this day if he actually pushed me because it happened so fast. He says he didn't mean to, but I don't know. We weren't fighting or anything at the time, so I don't know. Alls I remember is slipping. I felt his hand on my back and then I slipped and I woke up a couple seconds later in excruciating pain. Justin told, oh yeah, I remember that, Sarah. Justin told Kelsey we were gonna have to amputate her thumb and replace it with an old man's toe. Yeah. Oh, she freaked the hell out when I told her that. All the other broken bones I had all happened from my dirt bike. I was just crazy ass riding on my dirt bike. I went into a fence. I wrecked into a fence one day. I thought I was gonna, there was a fence going along and I was going past it. And I thought the fence had ended where I was gonna go past it and there was still a piece of the fence there and I went right into it. Broke my damn wrist.
No kidding.
Joe, he said he did. You didn't hear him say, take this bitch, as he pushed you out the tree. Uh, Yeah, broken bones aren't fun though, I'll tell you what, cuz the first week or so, it is hard, especially the worse the bone, like when my arm, oh my God, it was so hard to sleep the first week. I didn't get any sleep at all. Cause it was aching so bad. It's really hard to sleep when you got a broken bone. The first week or so. I remember my dad actually had to go out and get me one of those special recliners that sits you up.
Yeah,
Remember those? You ever had one of those recliners?
yeah.
Yeah, he had to actually go out and buy me one. He got it from an older lady that had one, and he went and bought it from her. And it was a big old fluffy recliner, and I would press the button, and it would fully stand me up, so I could get up out of the chair. And that's where I slept at for like 2-3 months.
That's what I sleep in.
Yeah. The hardest part was taking a shower. That was the real hard part. Cause I had to take the sling off and hold my arm while I was showering, and oh God, it was a pain in the ass. Oh, looks like Laura's getting her washing machine today.
Oh, is she?
Nice. Did they actually fix that damn water leak though?
Yeah, I know she was waiting on a water leak fix, wasn't she?
Yeah, they had that water leak that was back behind the wall, behind the sink, I think, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, dude. The worst thing about taking a cast off is the fucking smell afterwards. Oh, cast smells so nasty. After, especially if the longer you have it on there, when they cut that cast off, first thing you want to do is go clean your limb, whatever it might be. It's God, it has the worst smell. I've seen people's casts cut off that had them on there for like 3-4 months, like somebody that had like a bad leg injury. Oh my God. And the hair is just wild the way the hair grows under the cast. It'll be like 4 times longer than all the rest of the hair on your body.
Okay, the 23rd of
Uh,
September
Awesome. So they got the water leak fixed too.
is the
Now,
first day of fall.
was there any mold in the wall, Laura, or did they check all that? Make sure you guys didn't have any mold or anything going on in there? Because unfortunately, that shit's gonna keep persisting whether the leak's fixed or not. Well, good, because that seemed to be the biggest issue you guys were having there. So as long as that's fixed, you guys should be good to go. Ah, that's awesome. So there's no mold or anything in there. That's good. Good stuff. Well, we found out now that the rats chewed through the kettle lead and the dishwasher lead as well. Jesus, Mark, they are tearing your house up, dude. You might need to get some professionals in there. Yeah, start dropping some fucking rat and rat poison around there, mouse poison. They're getting, you gotta, first you gotta figure out where the hell they're getting into. Cause they're getting into your house somewhere. Those things are like fucking trying to get rid of cockroaches, man. They can be just about as bad. Either that or go to the pet store and get you a snake and turn that bitch loose in the house. I did in my dad's house. Thing was running around down in the vents for a couple weeks. Luckily, nobody in the house was scared of snakes, so. And that gopher snake was pretty docile. He didn't try to bite you or nothing. He tried to pick him up. Oh, you catch them and release them? Oh, hell no. I kill rats and mice. But yeah, one thing you gotta do is really try to figure out where the hell they're getting in at and try to fix that issue first. Then try to get the rest of them in that are remaining in the house. Yeah, I don't fuck with rats and mice, dude. I don't care about releasing them.
So you're not a
Although-
catch and release the mice day.
No, hell no. But also I've never really had, I mean, there's been a few places over the years where we've had issues with mice. Not with, since I've been with Sarah, but before that. But like I said, if you can figure out how they're getting in and get that situation remedied first,
Yeah, that's the key.
then you can work on how to get rid of the ones that are remaining in the house. But if you can't figure out where they're getting in at, then it's just gonna be a nonstop battle. And them things leave nasty shit everywhere and everything else, get you super sick. Yeah, it's not good at all. Kate is scared shitless of snakes. Ah, dude, snakes aren't anything. I don't know why people are so scared of them things. There's so many snakes out there that will never bite you. Yeah, that is true too, Mark. Although, don't they have, I wanna say, don't they have poisons now that the rats eat and it decomposes the bodies without them smelling and stuff? I thought they had something like that. I don't know. But but Mark, the question is, have you figured out where they're getting in at? Problem is too, is those little bastards will chew through damn near anything.
That's square one. Yeah, the other thing that rats and mice will do is chew on your wiring.
That's what he's having problems with. They keep chewing up all the wiring on all his electronics and stuff. So they got his, they chewed up the wire on his kettle and his dishwasher.
Wow.
And I think he said, Mark, wasn't it, um, I think they got his washing machine or something last week. There are certain items too you can seal up holes with that they don't like. I think they say to use steel wool. I think there's like certain foams you can use that they don't like. Well, you'll definitely notice if you actually found the area that they got in, you should notice them decreasing as you're catching them, hopefully. Yeah, it was the freezer. That's what it was. They got his freezer first. Yeah, hopefully you get that figured out, man, because those things are they're disgusting as far as, you know, just health wise. Definitely don't want to be getting rat shit or mouse shit on any of your food or anything, or anywhere near where you're eating.
Rats and bats are the hardest ones to deal with.
Well, you know what the problem with bats are is they're protected. And when they start nesting somewhere, it's almost impossible to get anybody to remove them.
Yeah,
See, when I was working out at Walmart, they had a retaining wall, you know, like a decorative retaining wall back behind the Walmart that separated the RV park and Walmart that they put up, kind of like a privacy wall for the RV park. Walmart paid to have it put up. Problem was is there were some holes in it and some bats got in there. And the guys from Ecolab were like, we can't touch them. There's nothing we can do. They have to stay in the wall. They were like, they're protected. We're not allowed to touch them. And he said, unfortunately, they're just going to have to be there. He's like, there's nothing we can do about it. They're not allowed to touch the wall. They can't tear the wall down. They can't do anything because these bats have nested in the wall. And if you go put your ear up to the wall to this day, you can hear them in there, just thousands of them inside the wall.
really.
And they come out, and what was the problem was they were coming out at nighttime right by the loading doors, where they would open the big loading door for the vendors to come in,
Yeah,
and they would that was right where they were coming out of the wall. So in the middle of the night or early in the morning when these random vendors would show up and you would have to let them in the back loading door, you would have to be dealing with these bats, and every once in a while they'd get in. Most of the bats here tend to be in old disused buildings and old mills. Yeah, that's the only thing you got to be careful with, David, too. You're right, is rat poison is you got to be careful with the animals in your house. Laura, I told you I don't click on your links. Here, I'll look at it. But the way you worded that, Laura, was speaking of rats, have you seen this? So are you calling yourself a rat? I don't understand that. Oh, that's funny, Dustin. No, that's actually an upscale RV park, the one next to Walmart there. That's actually the really nice Walmart. You actually get a kind of a richer clientele at that Walmart. It's like really clean, really nice looking Walmart versus the other Walmart downtown. Looks ghetto as shit. Everybody calls it the ghetto Walmart. It's not in the best area. I mean, it's not a super bad area. It's just not the best area. But down at the other end of Cypress Gardens, that's where a lot of the richer people live, and you do get a lot more higher clientele coming in there. Especially when I worked in the electronics department, dude, they'd come in there and drop 5-6 grand at a time. Oh yeah, BB gun, Dustin. That's what we used to use, a pistol, get you a little 8-shot pellet gun, CO2 cartridge. You gotta remember, Dustin, he's in the UK, bro. Super strict on guns there. Exactly, Dustin. Upscale lot lizards. Exactly. I had one guy come in Walmart one day, drop 15 grand on electronics. This dude came in and bought 6 70-inch TVs, bought sound bars for all of them, bought a couple computers. Oh, dude, this dude spent so much money because he just bought a house and he was decking every room out with the 70-inch TV. And actually bought our whole pallet of TVs because that's all we had in stock. Surprisingly, none of them were broken. I was real surprised about that. Yeah, dude dropped like 15 grand that day in there. That was my biggest sell ever. Because we actually had to do it in 2 different transactions because the register wouldn't let us ring it all up on one transaction. All right, Laura. Good luck with the washing machine. Parking lot full of Paris Hiltons. Oh, it is, dude. It's like a lot of the old retirees, you know, that got money. Because you go over in that RV park, dude, it's like a bunch of $1 million RVs in there. You don't really see like old little junky RVs in there. Plus, they're also an RV dealer too, so they actually sell RVs. At the front of the entrance, it's a dealership, and then you go to the back and they have a really nice RV park in the back. Yeah, because Walmart even built them their own little golf cart entrance from the back of the RV park. They have their own little golf cart entrance. They can go in and out of the RV park, and you'll sit there, man, freaking golf carts in and out of there all day long.
Really?
Yeah, they just come right into the parking lot and they have their own little parking spaces. They park there, they go shopping, throw their shit in their golf cart and right back into the RV park. I mean, it's a good play for Walmart to do that though. I mean, shit, why not? Brings business in. Like I said, it's a really nice RV park too. They have like their own private lake in there and everything. And you go in there and it's a bunch of $1 million type RVs. You know, so it's big ass like bus RVs that are like small 2-bedroom apartments on wheels. There was a guy that used to go out to Dumont Dunes back in the day, and he had this really nice RV. Oh my God, it was so nice. Both sides of the RV were one large pop out, the entire side of each of it. And this thing would pop out, and I swear to God, it was like a small 2-bedroom apartment. Really nice RV. It had 2 full bedrooms, two bathrooms in it, full kitchen. Looked just like a house on the inside. Right, Trevor? Tomorrow we will hear Little Llama Laura has a leak of UK flood after llama tests the washing machine. Apartment building completely destroyed. Local woman tests washing machine. All right. I think I'm gonna jump off here, Paul. I'm gonna go get something.
Okay, we might as well
Something to eat.
close her down then, huh?
All right. I'll see y'all later.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for being here. We'll see all of you again later tonight.
Later, guys.